Good evening, team. Hope you are good. Just going to test the sound before I get started. There he is. Fantastic. So, no clickbait rubbish on the titles, no trying to get you to click. This is good old fashioned technical analysis and market update for you to let you know what's going on in the crypto market, especially a latest on Bitcoin as we've seen a pump. I'll also show you what's going on with Ethereum and the altcoins as well, because we've seen quite the pump across the board. So I'm going to share my screen, get right into it. Sorry, I'm late tonight, by the way. I was in the middle of scalping and trading. And to be honest, I needed the focus because last time I jumped on, one of my trades kicked in and it did distract me. Because when it comes to pound notes or dollars, you know it's serious business. So I can't afford to be getting distracted. So that trade's done now. Been trading the alt market, also been trading gold today. Had a lot of fun, earned a lot of profits. So let's jump to the charts. Let me just share my screen and I'll describe to you how I see the market. Of course, none of this is financial advice. It's only my opinion and what I'm currently looking at and what I'm looking to trade. If you want to follow my guidance, then that's entirely up to yourself. So we've got the Bitcoin chart. As we can see, we have pumped a little bit. We traded this. We were short in this. I've given you pretty much step by step of what we're up to and what you could do the same. But one significant level I can see straight away is this anchored VWAP. And this was what I was keeping an eye on. Now, we did short this last week with took TP1 and TP2, I believe, as well, as we got that swing failure pattern just there. So what I see here is I can see this is what I had my eyes on. So I had the previous week high. That's what I talked about on my previous live video just there. We front run it by having a swing failure pattern on Friday. But I said my target was come to sweep this above, which we did this morning. If we go down to the 30-minute chart, we can see. Let me just draw. If I get back on the 4 hour, if I can just draw that previous week high first, just there, and then I'll go back down to the 30, and we can see the swing failure pattern that happened on that. So we've been kind of hovering around this pretty much most of the day today, taking the highs. I did think that we were going to fall, and we still potentially could. We got an SFP first, which was this one here, and then we SFP'd the SFP, which was this high here this morning. That was taken, and I was hoping for a bit of a pullback here, just here, and this is where I thought we were going to get one. But we've been hovering above this anchored VWAP. For me, when we were hovering down this morning, I said to the team inside the Discord community that I was looking for pretty much to lose this. If we got a reclaim of this, which we kind of have, to be honest, that it's looking like the sign of strength for Bitcoin. So back to the 8-hour chart, we can see, of course, we are pretty much, yeah, this is looking strong for Bitcoin, to be honest, looking strong. So I wanted to bring the open interest up and let you know what's going on. So we can see the open interest is starting to rise a little bit on Bitcoin. But I've got my eyes on Ethereum. Talked about Bitcoin a lot over the past weeks. So we can see this is the area of trading view is very, very slow today. So we'll have to wait for tools to load up. But we can see this area, this range that we've been ranging in, this area of value. We're coming out of this, taking this high, and we could potentially, if we flip this level here, we could potentially begin to move up. I've given the team some levels that I'm interested above us. I'll give you a quick synopsis. There's a couple of levels that I am interested in looking at as we begin to rise above. If we do, if we can take a clear, have we got a 4-hour close above this yet? Let's have a look. Couple of 4-hour closes, but we've dipped back in. So what I need to do, if I get the 30-minute chart, I'm going to show you what I'm after. I will need, I said to the team this morning, I will need a close above this area here. We need a close above this high here. That's where we're at the moment. Let me get the highlighter up. There we go. That's where we're at the moment. What we need is a clean move above. Now, what we've got is a bit of a bull flag here for potential continuation to the upside. but we need to break above this area here, which is around the 74 to 75k mark, 74 to 74 and a half. What we need to see is a break above this and a close above this with a 4-hour candle closing above it. But the levels that I've got on above, we can see, I'll bring the 4-hour up actually, is this previous range here. Let me get the 8-hour, in fact, this previous range here. There's a couple of areas before that, but this is the main area just here. We can see here, this value up here. So of course, we've got imbalance here. We've got balance here. And if we come up to this area here, first of all, well, we've got a couple of areas, to be honest, because if we take a golden channel from, well, there's two fib pulls. There's one from this swing high to this swing low. That gives these levels here. But what we can do as well is we can take a pull from this impulsive move to the downside and we can bring it to here. Now, what we can see with this golden channel is around the 78 to 80k mark with numerous other levels of confluence of resistance. We can see that that is our first port of call. So if we break above here, it's not going to take much to come up to this level here. Of course, we can take this little value area, but I didn't particularly like the POC. Let me move this out of the way. Didn't particularly like the POC being so close to the value areas. It's not the best pull in the world, but we have got numerous levels here as I went through with the team today. That's my first port of call. If we break through that, I think we should get a bounce on a TP1 for sure. A couple of percentage move on a scalp short or even a day trade. We'll see how we go. We'll take it level by level. But the next level above that, so let me just put that back on for a second so you can see. If we come above this level here and we break, we get a bit of a reaction on around 80k to 78 on the 6.6 and the 618. If we get a move to here, take profit there. The next move up, to me, the next key level is going to be this value area low, which is the value area low of this previous range here. That's what I'm looking at, which is at 86k. So for me, I see a good area for it to transfer quite quickly up is anywhere from 86. I'd say, to be fair, I mean, 86 to 92k. We've got several levels. We've got to reclaim, for sign of strength, we've got to reclaim this value area low here. Got to reclaim it. Let's have a look. There we go. Got to reclaim this value area low here for signs of strength. If we reclaim that, of course, this will be a failed auction, auctioning below this particular area of value here. But then as we begin to move our way up here, to flip this value area low here would then mean the next port of call is this POC and this liquidity here for a trade. But if we make it as high as that, I see is getting a bit of a reaction. Once we've reclaimed this, then there's nothing to say really that we can't move higher. So it's interesting. It's interesting because we've been expecting for a while another low down to below 60k to maybe 58k, where there's a monthly MPOC and some other macro support. But for me, if we can reclaim this area of value, that is quite a remarkable sign of strength for me. So we'll have to see. We will have to see. There's no promise we're going to get there. Obviously, above that, we've got a bit of liquidity here on this pivot high, which is around about the 98k mark. But you can see we're fast approaching. If we bring it up and get a bit of a macro view on it, we can see this is around the 100k mark. Previous support, previous resistance. So that is a decent resistance there without bringing any MPOCs up or anything like that. This is just a brief overview to give you guys a bit of a clue of what's happening in the market. So that's that. One thing you have noticed, no doubt, on Ethereum today, we've seen a move on Ethereum. If we bring the 8-hour chart, we can see this is the area that we're arranging in just here. If I bring it from there to there, here's where we broke out of the range, and we can see quite clearly that we are above this range now, and we're breaking out. But what you can see also is you can see a breakout in the open interest. Open interest is backing this move, which means there are participants in the market that are interested in actually longing this particular position. So open interest backing the move is always a strong sign. Of course, if you've got order flow software, you can start looking at the delta and the volume, which I have got on the other screen on Exo, but that's not for this video. So yeah, we're looking good on ETH. If ETH fires up, then you know damn well the rest of the alt market's going to fire up as well. So if we bring it down to here, we can see that the Bitcoin dominance is falling. Bitcoin dominance is falling. So it's all about monitoring money flow. Where is the money going? We can see it's leaving Bitcoin on the dominance chart. I mean, it's not a tremendous pullback, but we have got vectors here to recover. If we go on the Ethereum dominance chart, we can see again Ethereum dominance. That is where the money is flowing into from Bitcoin. Always a good sign. What's happening with USDT? We can see we're getting a bit of a partial fall on USDT dominance, but we can see here as well, we've got the previous range POC that we could find support on. But for me, if we look on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, just here, we can see the Ethereum Bitcoin chart is also showing some ferocious signs of coming up. Now, look at this. You can see that there's not much support on this area of imbalance here. Area of imbalance here, balance here. We've broken out of that. It would not surprise me if we came and retested these highs here on the Bitcoin, on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. So faster something falls, faster it rises. I can see a move on Ethereum rising pretty quickly. This is the BTC chart, of course. So you can see here a massive rise to the upside. So if we bring the actual Ethereum USDT chart up, we can see open interest back in it, which is always good to see. But I can see as, look, if we can get above this level here, it's going to be shooting up. To be fair, let that load up. Come on, Trading View. Hamster in a wheel cage. No? You're going to, here we go. Right. So we've got this previous range of value here. There's not a lot of resistance at all. Not a lot of resistance. This bit just here, even up to that vector candle there, you can see if we can get above that there, mark my words when I do my video on Wednesday, mark my words, you can see here that, wow, yeah, let's measure it from here to here. That's a 26% move to reclaim this value here. What I find interesting about this on the 8-hour chart, that is a vector candle going straight through the value area low and all the way up to the POC, which says that we might take that previous range value area low quite easily. So yeah, I'm expecting a move pretty quickly up to potentially 2,900 to 3K on Ethereum. And if that happens, we'll have a mini rocket on the alts. Now, does this mean we're back in the bull market? Not necessarily. This could just be a relief rally. If we bring the daily chart up on Ethereum as well, this could just be a relief rally up to here to create a lower high to then create a lower low. Because don't forget, if we bring the weekly, if we bring the 3-day chart up here, don't get it twisted. Because within this, to be fair, if I'm just whipped down to the 8-hour chart again, here we go. If we take this whole area of previous range, well, it's very similar, to be fair. The value area low and the POC's very similar. Yeah, if we do that, we can, okay, that's interesting. What we can begin to see here, back to the 3-day chart, perfect. What we can see here, look, we're still in a downtrend. Even if we come up to here, we're still in a downtrend for a lower low. So it does not mean we're back in the bull market. Does not mean that. It's encouraging. Of course, you can trade it. But if we do a descending range here, there we go. Yep, descending range there. We can see that we are still in a descending range. So even if we come up to this point here, even if we deviated out of it to then fall back in. So sign of strength would be staying above this, up to this area here where the previous range is, retest, and then look for higher. But I foresee us potentially coming up to this level really quickly, maybe consolidating for a while, creating a Bart-Simpson pattern, and then falling back into this range. Sign of weakness will be falling back into this range here. So it gives you a bit of an outlook of what I'm looking at in terms of the charts. But yes, I hope you enjoyed that. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays when I come live here on YouTube, X, and social media, Facebook, etc. So yeah, feel free to like, subscribe, follow, and Let me know if you'd like me to cover a chart, and I'll do that with gladness. No problem at all. Have a great evening.